It's hump day, Wednesday, January 14th, 2026. How's it going? I am Peaches, and I am mentally fried. I am mentally done. All right, I'm mentally checked out. That's what I should say. If you want to get a hold of me, you can over at 208-535-1015. I'm just very excited to leave on Friday. Tomorrow, last day of the week for me. Then I'm gone till Monday, January 26th. That's if everything goes according to plan. I am very, very anxious about everything going to plan. I'm like Dutch. I have a plan, you know? I'm hoping that my flight will take off on time. Knocking on wood. Weather's looking promising. You know, we're getting very lucky. I mean, some people are going to say that we're not so lucky. They want to have snow. For me, I'm good, man. That might be my unpopular opinion. That might be an unpopular opinion, but I got to say, I've been enjoying this. All right. I've been enjoying these high of like 40, low of 25 days. Really. If you want to argue with me on that, oh, I'm sorry. I don't feel like I'm not in the mood to do anything besides just this afternoon show. But if you want to get a hold of me, again, you can still do so. 208-535-1015. I do want to talk about right now something cool Z103 is doing with Mountain View Hospital. Mama's Munchies. I've talked about it a few times before. They've teamed up with Mountain View Hospital to give away a full-on nursery as well as a professional photo shoot. And all you have to do is if you're an expecting mom to be, or if you know of an expecting mom, make sure to let them know about this. You submit your weirdest food craving through you can actually do it through the K-Bear 101 app. We have the form right there on the app. You just click on Z103 Mama Munchies. Takes you right to the form. You take a picture of the weird food craving you've been having because you're pregnant, give a brief description, and boom, you're entered in to win. That's right. Full-on nursery, all the stuff you'll need for that expensive baby, as well as a professional newborn photo shoot, so that way you can brag to your friends on Facebook, hey, look how cute my baby is. And other people might say it's ugly, but they'll keep that to themselves, all right? Peach's Pit Party will be back here in just a few on K-Bear 101. Legos have become very popular over the past couple of months. Lego has now officially, that's how brain fried I am, officially teamed up with Nintendo and the Pokemon Company to release its first ever Pokemon sets. Perfectly timed for the franchise's 30th anniversary next month. The sets, of course, there's a lot of pieces to them. There's about 600 pieces to a whopping 6,800 pieces for these different sets. The prices are also serious business, of course. You know, they're going to be expensive. Smaller sets going for $60. The starter trio, I don't know if you've seen this thing or not. It's Charizard, Blastoise, whatever the third one is, whatever the green one is. It's priced at $650. Pre-orders are live now ahead of the February 27th release date. What you got to do is if you have just, $700 to just throw away, you can buy the starter trio set, keep it sealed. The key is keep it sealed, keep it pristine. Store it somewhere cool and dry for the next 5 to 10 years, and then resell it on eBay or whatever site that we have in 5 to 10 years, resell it for a ridiculous amount of money. That's a great investment right there. Just let the Legos sit. They gain money. It's better than buying a car. Cars depreciate in value. This appreciates. Legos definitely appreciate. Alrighty, what's this question here? What's a small social rule you refuse to follow even if everyone expects it? Okay, let's go through this here. Why not? It's a slow news day. Being available 24/7. I don't answer my phone if I'm already talking with somebody else. I feel like it's rude to bring your phone out at the kitchen table, dining room table, restaurant. Whenever I'm with somebody, I will never pull my phone out. I feel like that's disrespectful. You're saying the phone is more entertaining than the person in front of you. And I kind of make the other person feel bad too. You know, if they have their phone out, be like, hey, are you not entertained? I say no whenever I'm asked if I would like to donate to a cause when at the register buying something. Yeah, it really does suck when you go to a place like Taco Bell and they ask you, would you like to donate to the hungry? And then you go, I am the hungry. And you press no, just give me my food. What's a small social rule you refuse to follow even if everyone expects it? Having an excuse as to why you're saying no. Once I realize no is a full sentence, things have been easier. I mean, sure, but if you're also that person that says no while everyone else says yes, you're kind of a jerk in that sense. Like, hey, let's all go out. No. Why not? No. Staying for an entire social event, I leave the moment I no longer want to be there. That's how I felt about the very few parties I went to, because I'm the guy that doesn't drink, doesn't do anything. The last thing I want to do is talk to some drunk person for, 4 hours. They get rather annoying after like 10 minutes, and then you want to walk away and you just leave. Giving money at work to buy a manager or higher level boss a gift for Christmas, birthday, or whatever. People do that? I mean, I expect them to give me something. I'm the lower level employee. I deserve a present way more than they do. I thought this was kind of silly. This independent developer of a video game. I can't find the title of it. It's in this article somewhere. I had it, and then the whole thing jumped, and then I lost it. So, there it is. It's called Hardest. Yeah, the game in question on Steam is called Hardest. The reason why there's a spotlight on it is because the developer is removing it after his new girlfriend told him AI is bad. Yeah. It says here that his girlfriend educated him on the impact of AI, the realities of artificial intelligence. AI is becoming increasingly prominent in all facts of life, from game development itself to law enforcement, as we talked about previously with that whole story about the police report being written for that one police department in Utah, and the AI confused audio from a movie being played in the background. And sure enough, it said the cop in the police report transformed into a frog. That whole thing. If you missed out on that, you can listen to Peach's Pit Party on the on-demand podcast version of the show. Well, this guy's deleting his game. It's a weird type of rock, paper, scissors game. It's a card game with roguelike elements, is what it says here. And all the characters in the game generated by AI. The music generated by AI. This guy just used AI to make a game for him, and now he's trying to sell it on Steam, which a lot of people, the whole anti-AI crusade would be against. I see it as a cop-out. I do see, like, using AI to this extent, you shouldn't be able to do so, right? It's like those AI artists out there trying to make money, those guys behind a computer using Suno to make songs and then putting them out on Spotify, getting hundreds of thousands of monthly listeners, earning money like a real artist. It's like, no, you can't even play an instrument, but you can type up a prompt real well, that type of thing. Anyway, let's play some more real musicians here on K-Bear. Here's Poppy, Unravel. In a move that has stunned the NFL world, Mike Tomlin officially stepped down as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday, ending a historic 19-year tenure. He leaves behind an amazing legacy that includes nearly 2 decades at the helm without a single losing season. While the Steelers haven't won a playoff game in 9 years, Tomlin does leave with a Super Bowl ring, 2 AFC championships, and 200 career wins. The Steelers are now on the clock, searching for just their 4th head coach since 1969. To put Tomlin's 19-year run into perspective, here is what the world looked like when he first got the job in January of 2007. You had Steve Jobs, who had just introduced the very first iPhone at Macworld. What's that say here? Oh, the Facebook had only been open to the general public for a few months. Twitter, now X, was less than a year old. I remember back then when I had a basketball coach. I was 11 back in 2007. I had a basketball coach, tried telling my parents to follow him on Twitter, and my parents were like, that's the stupidest thing ever. Who would do such a thing? Follow you on Twitter? What is that? Like, they were so confused. The Nintendo Wii and PlayStation 3 were the hot new consoles back in those days, and Netflix was still a company that mailed you DVDs in red envelopes. The Kansas City Royals are moving the outfield fence at Kauffman Stadium in by 10 feet this season in hopes of boosting scoring. The height of the fence will also be shortened from 10 feet to 8.5 feet. It looks like NBC is set up to dominate sports. In February, they'll be broadcasting the Olympics, the Super Bowl, the NBA All-Star Game, all within a 10-day period starting February 6th. They're calling it Legendary February, and of course, there will be commercials. The network supposedly sold out of all of its ad spots for the Olympics, and the Super Bowl ad price for a 30-second spot is topping $8 million these days. That does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on K-Bear 101. This right here is one of those actors that, older people know, but if I were to ask, like, Maddie down the hall, who was born in the year 2006, who Kiefer Sutherland is, I don't think she would have a clue. As a matter of fact, I think there's nobody else in the world named Kiefer who looked at their baby and said, you know what, this guy's name should be Kiefer. Kiefer Sutherland. I looked him up because I already knew the name and I know what he's been in, but I was wanting to see how old he is. He's almost 60. He's 59 years old. He was arrested early Monday after Los Angeles police say he physically assaulted a rideshare driver and made criminal threats. Don't you think he would have enough money to not take an Uber, I would think, right? Maybe he drives his own car. Maybe he has a driver. But he was making criminal threats towards this guy, and yeah, got arrested. Officers responded just after midnight near Hollywood Hills. I'm assuming he was drinking or something. Just after midnight in the Hollywood Hills, and determined Sutherland entered the vehicle, struck the driver, and verbally threatened the victim, who did not require medical treatment. Of course, it's a 60-year-old guy. It's a 60-year-old actor in L.A. It's going to feel like a gust of wind when that guy tries to punch you. But he just entered the vehicle and punched the guy? Like, what? Why? Why? Why is that the case? What happened there? Sutherland has a history of legal issues. I'm assuming that's why, including prior alcohol-related arrests. Yeah, typical Kiefer at it again. Being a content creator does have its very tedious jobs that you have to do. Like what Victor was experiencing this morning with trying to upload the top 50 most played songs of 2025. If you want to see that full list, it's on the K-Bear 101 Facebook page, as well as the K-Bear 101 Idaho Rock and Metal Facebook group. If you want to see what the most played song was of last year, I always like when we put out those lists just because it's nice to see what was the most overplayed. When I first started, it was Architects Animals. I don't remember what 2022 was, or any year after that. 2024, was that uploaded, or did we just... I think I looked this up. It was only like 2023, and that was it. Yeah, so anyway, Victor was trying to tag each artist on that list, and once he tagged a certain amount, that's when Facebook said, hey, you've tagged too many people, and I think Facebook crashed or something, so he just copied and pasted the list, posted it straight up. Now, coming up here soon, February 1st, I'll be celebrating 5 years of working here. And so I was trying to make a nice collage to post on February 1st. I ended up with 74 photos. And I tried just using this one website that makes a collage for you, because I don't necessarily want to sit there, open up Photoshop, individually drag 74 different photos, resize them accordingly to fit the collage. I wanted a website to do it for me. I want AI to do the mundane work for me. And luckily, after spending, I think, way too long, I think it was over an hour and a half trying to get all these photos in, it finally made the collage for me. It kept crashing. It sucked. So content creation overall. I mean, it may seem fun that you're just posting on social media trying to gain likes and comments, but it's tedious work. It's tedious work. I also uploaded a video of Victor trying to tag those artists on our Instagram and TikTok at KBear101FM. So Arizona is floating this idea where on certain highways, there just would not be a speed limit anymore. Not raised, not 80 instead of 75, just go nuts. And you know exactly what's going to happen. They're like, oh, it's only for responsible drivers. Cool, sure, because the guy in the lifted truck who already rides your bumper at 85 is definitely going to hear reasonable and prudent and go, you know what, today I'll reflect inward. You know, people are going to treat this like a Fast and Furious audition. Minivans doing 110, someone in a Nissan Altima with one headlight hanging on by duct tape, absolutely flooring it. Every cop's going to be standing there like, well, I can't pull you over for speeding, but maybe they can pull them over for being insane. Maybe this should be brought up on traffic school, powered by the advocates. I can only imagine if you were to try doing something like that here. Like if there's a particular stretch of highway where they just go, you know what, let's get rid of the speed limit. I feel like people already treat it as such anyway. So it turns out people 2,500 years ago were absolute degenerates, just like us. Archaeologists were digging around in Sicily, found this ancient writing tool from like 500 BC, and they're all excited because it's rare and historic and whatever. But here's the thing. They pull this thing out of the dirt. It's got symbols on it, a carved face on it, and then surprise, there's this extremely enthusiastic, let's say, attachment on it, if you catch my drift. Like, this was not an accident. Someone back then sat there and went, you know what? Yeah, this tool is good, but it needs a little something extra. And the experts are like, oh, this represents Dionysus, the god of wine and ecstasy. Oh, does it? That tracks. That is the most wine god behavior imaginable. I wish I could go more in-depth about this, but as you know, I would get a Jade Pucker alert to JPA. They're saying it was probably an offering to the gods, which means even back then, people were like, dear gods, please accept this weird object I made while having way too much wine. I love that archaeologists are shocked by this. Like, we can't believe ancient people had dirty minds. I would love to see an archaeologist pull out something crazy out of the dirt. Pull this thing out of the dirt. I would have loved to have been there to experience that. They think they found something, they pull it out, they see that and go, whoa, very nice. Alrighty, Idaho, if you've been leaving snacks out on the porch for Fluffy the deer or Buster the elk, Idaho Fish and Game is basically filing a complaint. They're saying don't feed the deer and the elk, even if they look all cute and chill outside your door. Because here's the thing. Once you put out one apple, word travels fast in the deer grapevine, and suddenly your backyard is like the new feast zone. Before you know it, there's enough hooved wildlife to start their own HOA. And it's not just about the free buffet. Big groups of animals stuck in a tiny area can spread disease quicker than a rumor in a small town. Plus, if they're cruising through neighborhoods more often, there's more chances for windshield meetings nobody paid for. You know, that whole thing. Fish and Game says these animals are built for Idaho winters. They've survived way harsher than snowstorms and chilly temps without us playing short order cook. So, yeah, please don't feed the elk and deer coming to your backyard. If you want to learn more about this, I believe the Idaho Fish and Game made an official posting, an official warning all about it. I got it from a local news source. But yeah, here it is. Idaho Fish and Game, feeding backyard deer and elk does more harm than good. I always like when we get to talk about stuff that actually matters around here. You know, coming up Wednesday, February 5th at noon, there's a law enforcement appreciation luncheon happening at Melaleuca headquarters in Idaho Falls. And it's basically the community saying, hey, we see you, we appreciate you. This brings together local businesses, community leaders, and the people who keep things running when the rest of us are asleep, stuck in traffic, or doing something dumb. It benefits the Greater Idaho Falls Police Foundation. So it's not just a nice lunch. It actually helps support the people behind the scenes at Idaho Falls Police Department, the Bonneville County Sheriff's Office, the Idaho State Police. If you or your business want to be a part of it, tickets and sponsorships are available now. All the info is up at ifpolicefoundation.org. That's ifpolicefoundation.org. All right, what the headline today sounds fake, but it is very real. A candy shop in Gatlinburg, Tennessee keeps getting broken into, not by teenagers, not by a guy in a hoodie, by the same bear. This black bear has now broken into this candy store 4 times. At this point, this is a routine, not a crime spree. You know, wildlife officials are calling it a serial burglary, which I love because that means somewhere there's a bear out there. Like, yeah, I'll take the usual, you know, caramels, fudge, whatever's closest to the door. The owners are like, we've spent 35 years building this sweet little candy shop. And the bear's like, cool, I've spent 35 minutes memorizing your floor plan type of thing. And here's the best part. They're hoping the bear can be safely relocated, which is very kind, but also the bear knows where the candy is. You can move him, but he'll be back. You know, at some point, you got to stop calling wildlife services, start calling a locksmith, but then who knows? Maybe you should just have somebody there with a tranquilizer dart ready to go. Because if they know the time that this bear keeps going into the store, I mean, you could just have a couple dudes there with tranquilizer darts to take the whole thing down. Take him somewhere else. What if you did that to a bear? Would that be inhumane if you were to tranquilize a bear and you knock him all out and then you transport him to a different state and he's all thrown off? Anyway, that's today's What the Headline right here on K-Bear 101. We still have a few pairs left of tickets to go see Megadeth Behind the Curtain. That's going to be at the Regal Edwards Grand Teton, January 22nd at 6 p.m., January 24th at 2 p.m. If you want to win tickets to this, all you got to do is listen for that cue to call, B-Color 15 at 208-535-1015, and boom, there you go. Free codes to get you into the movie. And it's like a deep dive into Megadeth's 40-year career. They're calling it quits after this final album. Well, they're going to do this big lawn farewell tour, and who knows if that's actually true or not. I feel like with rock and metal, you just have to, basically the person has to die in order for the band to end, and we don't want that, obviously, but I'm just saying, like, nobody really ever retires because money talks, but there will be a full-on album listening party with this whole movie thing, and it's going to be a pretty fun time. If you're a huge fan of Megadeth, this is certainly for you. Again, listen for that cue to call at any time this week at 208-535-1015. Let's continue with the number one played song here on K-Bear of 2025. I wouldn't have guessed this was the song. It's Sleep Theory, Static. If you want to see the full list of the top 50 most played songs of last year, go to our Facebook page at K-Bear 101 FM. St. Louis has a bit of a situation right now. By situation, I mean monkeys are just out there. We talked about this previously. A group of these rare monkeys have been roaming around the city for days. Nobody knows where they came from. Nobody's claimed them. Officials still haven't caught a single one. There are people out there that are, using AI to generate fake pictures of these monkeys and sending them in to the officials, messing with them. And if that wasn't weird enough, they apparently picked up a goat. Like, St. Louis actually has a black and white goat now, part of this whole thing. At this point, this isn't an animal control issue. This is the beginning of a children's book, or like the weirdest heist movie ever made, or like even a weird version of Jumanji. Animal control is also saying the search is getting harder because, of course, people are using those AI-generated photos, the monkeys, and now the goat online. So officials are like, cool, thanks. We don't know what's real anymore. So somewhere in St. Louis, there are monkeys, a goat, a bunch of fake photos of monkeys and goats, and absolutely zero answers. If this ends with them stealing a car or operating like a food truck, I won't even be surprised. Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, a.k.a. Brenden Peach, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.